Greetings, my friends. Friday is Future Day. That's what I've taught to clients and colleagues and students for many years. As best as you can, spend time on Friday at the end of the week to give some thought not only to next week, but to the future of your company and your career. Take time on Friday to think about your future. And yes, you read the title right. January 10th, Friday. This could be the day that determines your future or your fate for 2020. Well, what in the world does that mean? Well, if you'll give me a few minutes on this Friday, we'll try and help encourage you to take charge of your Friday and take charge of your future. I'm Stan Houston, the Master Entrepreneur. That's the program, and it begins right now. And we are off and running. Now, about 3 days ago, on the 7th, that's right, January 7th, I named that day, Shut Up on the 7th. Now, what I meant by that is one of the disciplines that I'm going to encourage you to do is to remember, take a day like the 7th. By that time, all of the, most of the cleanup for the holidays has taken place, and the partying is done. Take time to seek some silence. Because let me tell you, if you want to be successful in a busy, noisy, oftentimes too fast world, you will have to be counterintuitive and counterculture. You're going to have to learn how to seek the power of silence, the power of just being still. I'm not saying meditation or prayer or any of that thing. Let whatever follows follow, but just learn the art of being silent for a while, for a time, maybe even for a short season. Learn the power of no noise. Think about that. And I said on the 7th we should perhaps think about starting that by shutting up that day and thinking about how we will integrate that into the rest of our life and days. The 10th. Yeah, Friday the 10th. Now, Friday is Future Day, and let me give you just another little story about how that worked. When I taught this to a group in a small company, the boss took it very seriously, and here's what he said. He said, I told the people that around 4 o'clock every Friday, if I was in the office, that I was going to go around to each of their desks or cubicles or their working area, and I'd just simply sit down, and I would tell them that the rest of the day is off. And I'm always going to have a little bit of a treat at the end of the day on Friday. But I would say this, what are your plans for next week? And then I would say, what is clearer to you about what you and perhaps we should do in the future? Now, I didn't want some big grand strategy or anything like that. I just wanted them to know that they had to demonstrate some thoughtfulness about that. And they all knew that when they left their desk on Friday night, it had to be clean and clear. It had to look sharp. He said, that's one of the best things I ever learned from you, Stan, is not only Friday is Future Day for me as a leader. Perhaps encourage them to do the same thing. But at the end of the day on Friday, close it up just a little bit early. Give them a bit of thank you and a treat and a commendation and attention. But simply ask them what had come to them and what were their plans for the following week. And then, of course, we might ask, how did we do? with what we planned the following Friday. Just let that idea sit on your head for a while. So that's the deal. Now here's the rest of the 10th deal. By now, many of those good resolutions are beginning to fade away. The people who are going to work out, go on a diet, do the gym, you know what has happened. By now, that's a little bit weak, and it'll fade out very soon. And so here's my point. On this 10th day of January, what are you going to do that will help you have a better future this year? Are you going to plan your future, or have you decided already just to settle for the fates? You will continue to do what you've always done, basically in the same way, and what happens, happens. And there'll be little control or little intention or little direction from you. That starts to happen right now on the 10th of January. So what I want to encourage you to do right now is say, not me, not this year. Not me, not this year. I'm not going to be a January 10th person who begins to give up all of the hopes, thoughts, dreams, and intentions. I'm going to be much better. I'm going to have a deeper sense of purpose, and this year truly will be different. I know we say that, and we wish that, but we usually don't do it. And that sliding scale into the present mediocrity usually begins on January 10th. So here we are on Friday, January the 10th, and I'm just going to simply ask you to think about what you are going to do, perhaps the rest of the day, this weekend, and certainly with greater intention on the following week. What are you going to do to make sure that you have not abandoned your year to fate, but you still have a future power? You still have a future presence you want to create, and you're going to seek God's creative power. You're going to seek God's creative power, starting right now, to make it a different and better year. I'm Stan Houston. This is a program that is designed to help you seek unique kinds of greatness. And oftentimes greatness comes in small starts and in small ways. I'll be back.
'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free.
Hey, just a few more thoughts. I'm doing this program for me, because this is exactly where I and my colleagues have to be. We have to take control of some very significant obstacles and pursue some very significant possibilities. And we have to do that starting right now, Friday, January 10th. And I guarantee that almost everybody I'm in contact with today has some of the same things in their life. In fact, I just had a phone conversation with a woman who is going through some difficulties, but as a result of what we talked about, there is powerful new resolution in her life as we sought ways together on this January 10th to do some very different things with our life and our business and the way we want our life to be lived. So I'm going to ask you to think about that and perhaps do something about it. Please tell me about it. RadioEdge77@gmail.com. RadioEdge77@gmail.com. One of the things I'm going to do is to do a lot more classes, courses, and presentations. Now, one of the books that somebody suggested that you read, and of course that always happens, you know. It happened this past New Year. What's a good book to read for 2020? And all kinds of bodies had put together books that I should read for 2020. And of course, you know, most people never do that. Even the people who probably put the list together won't do it. Alone the people who read the list and made good intentions. But ironically, one of the books that was suggested was one you've all heard about. I'm sure most of you have. How to Win Friends and Influence People. That was a book that was written by Dale Carnegie, of Dale Carnegie fame. And what it was, ironically, was a simple set of lectures that he gave to the YMCA about how to be successful in life and business. And the young men, it used to be just that, you know, Young Men's Christian Association, the YMCA, it was actually a place where not only could they come for recreation, but if you were moving into the big city to seek your fortune, you couldn't afford an apartment, you could always get a simple room and stay at the Y. And it was an incredible place for young men and women, particularly young men at first. Of course, the YWCA followed, where they didn't have to be homeless. They could find a simple place to start to build their career. Good thoughts. Well, he did that, and of course, the lectures were taken down in dictation, and as a result of that, the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, became a bestseller, and 80-some years later, it still is that. What I did a few years ago as a pilot project, I actually took the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I tried to update it. I put a course together. It was about 10, 11, 12 sections. It didn't quite go very well when we tried it and piloted it 3 years ago, but we're going to try and revive it. And I tried to make it a little bit different, with a little more spiritual emphasis to it, and to certainly update it. And I called it Making Good Friends and How to Make Your Mark in the Marketplace. And it's some of the things I've learned and some of the things I've experienced in how, with everything that's different today, that is obviously not 1937, with the media and the publishing and the world that we live in today, how could we take an updated version of how to win friends and influence people? And so I'm going to put that together. And maybe you'd like to help me. How to make good friends and make your mark in the marketplace today. I'm also going to have a class for those of you who say, Stan, I want to start my own business this year, 2020. Could you help me do that? And we are going to start an ongoing YouTube class on how to build your own entrepreneurial business in 2020. And it's not a one-time thing. It will be an ongoing set of presentations and ways that you can communicate with me. We're going to call it kind of a change master class. You're going to try and master the changes in your life, and you're going to try and build a business of your own in 2020. You're going to be a master entrepreneur. That's some of the things we hope to do, and I just wanted to share them with you on this January 10th. Hopefully they'll inspire you to make some plans for your life and business and renew your sense of spirit force creativity for the year that's before us all. I'm Stan Houston. And we're back, and I'm grateful once again for you. Please, we would appreciate your thoughtfulness in letting us know how we can help you, and perhaps giving us a recommendation or some comments. Reach out to us at radioedge77@gmail.com, radioedge77@gmail.com. Also, I would appreciate right now that we share the burden of putting this together. We are a 501c3 non-profit organization, the Christian Entrepreneur Network, which is becoming the Christian Entrepreneur Nation. TCENglobal.org, TCENglobal.org. And if you might add, TCENglobal.org/contribute now. And if you could make a small sponsorship, nothing is too small. And if you want to do more, that's fine too. We're going to have a lot of things that we hope will help you have an exceptional 2020 as you seek to follow the master entrepreneur and become one yourself and build a life and business that matters and makes a difference. So again, all the best and blessings. Until next time, I'm Stan. Bye for now.